All right, Shalom. I'm going to start out by giving all praise and glory to you. How by Shema, Shai, by Shema Kakwadash. Double honor to the apostle of the great millstone. Shalom to the document. They're pushing the word of sincerity and in truth. Yeah, I just want to do a lesson in regards to this statement of Hamouz. It's just a dry run. If China and U.S. go to war in the Pacific, Singapore foreign minister warns. I'm gonna read a little bit more in the details, and I'm gonna expound on it through the spirit, because we know prophecy is popping. Popping like, as Apostle Tar said, prophecy is popping like popcorn. So we see these said events take place on a minor level, moderate level, and they're going to intensify to a higher climate. You see these different bodies of water starting to be the interest of a higher interest, and these nations are scuffling to grab. And it's always been about resources and power, of course, control, but we see that it's starting to, the stage is starting to intensify. But you got key points. Singapore has relationships with both countries and is uniquely positioned to take advantage of development in the U.S. and China. But if Singapore is forced to choose between China and the U.S., Balakrishan said that Singapore will refuse to choose. We are acting in our long-term national interest. We will be useful, but we will not be made use of. And they're going to have to choose a side, or they're going to be dragged in one way or another. Should a war break out between China and the U.S. in the Pacific, what you are seeing in the Strait of Hormuz will be a dry run. With the Singapore foreign minister, Blacklisher made the remarks. Singapore responded to a question whether the city-state was facing any pressure from Washington and Beijing to choose between the two. I'm going to jump down. Going to the contributions, Singapore's largest foreign investors with around 6,000 American companies based in the city-state. Singapore also runs good trade deficits with D.C., Washington to the tune of about $3.6 billion. Meanwhile, China has been Singapore's largest trading partner, and Singapore has been China's largest foreign investor. They're just going into the relations. But it says choke point matters. Separately, Balakrishan also said the conflict in the Middle East had shown that choke points matter. Of course they do. Pointed out that Singapore also sits astride one of the world's critical trade arteries in the form of the Strait of Malacca. And it's too narrow point. The Strait of Malacca is natural nautical miles compared to 21 nautical miles for the Strait of Hormuz. The minister also asked if the actions of Iran in trying to extract tolls from ships passing the Strait of Hormuz would have other countries thinking of also collecting tolls through choke points, such as the Strait of Malacca. And they're going to go into other details, trust, of course, but we're seeing the this war take place, and it's starting to get more and more drastic. Now we had America and Iran had a treaty, and they disrupted the treaty, so now they're back in odds, and that's going to continue to go on until it gets worse, gradually worse. The Heavenly Father is really corralling these world leaders, and putting a line in the sand. So we know, just trying to multitask, go read a little bit of these headlines, but we know what countries are going to, go to war. All right. This isn't speculation. This is stuff that's been speaking about for some time now, and we've seen it take place. So they're trying to end game for the Iran war. But yeah, we're definitely here through the spirit. All we have to do is just hold tight, hold fast as it is written. Matter of fact, fasten our seatbelts, for the times that we're living in. Yep. Revelations 3:11. Behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. Yeah, and like I said, what goes without being said, what's taking place. So for us brothers on the receiving end of the Spirit and seeing things take place on an epic level, all we have to do is just stay rooted and grounded, staying out of the way, staying in the Spirit, and looking at looking as it is written, watch as well as pray. The book of Habakkuk spoke about being on his watchtower. So us brothers, we each and every one of us brothers is on a watchtower, and the Lord has given us the ability to watch through these devices, to see what's taking place, seeing how close this war is coming, because it's all biblical prophecy. World War III. One war, what it said, 2 wars passing, the third war coming after. That's the Third World War. But I just want to speak on that in regards to what they said. It's a dry run. Just like with boxing, you have the underweights, before the main event. You got the what they would call it, excuse me, I'm trying to think of it. Undercards. So we seeing these undercards take place, proxy wars, and all these different things before the major war, So I just want to speak in regards to that. Anybody giving all praise and glory to Yah by Shema Rashai, by Shemar Kakwadash, Dub on Apostle Elders of Great Millstone. Shalom, Michael.